Okay, continuing the review, test 2, part 4, starting with number 22. Another subtraction problem of fractions requires an LCD. So 4 and 6 both divide evenly into 12. And remember that you need to choose the highest exponent for the LCD. Okay, now we need to build up each fraction. So let's look at this first fraction. Comparing its denominator with the LCD, you see we need to multiply top and bottom by 3. Distribute the 3, you get 6x plus 3 over the LCD. Let's do the same thing with the second fraction, x plus 3 over 6x. Comparing its denominator with the LCD, you see we need to multiply top and bottom by 2x. Distribute that, and you're going to get 2x squared plus 6x over the LCD. Now let's do the subtraction. It's a subtraction problem, so we want to rewrite this. 6x plus 3 over the LCD, that's this fraction rewritten with a common denominator, minus 2x squared plus 6x over the LCD, that's the second fraction written with the common denominator. And remember, with subtraction problems, we change the subtraction to addition, change all of the signs following that to its opposite, and then when you combine like terms, the highest exponent term is negative 2x squared. 6x plus negative 6x cancels, and then you get plus 3. And this is not going to simplify any further, so just write down your LCD, and that's your answer. Okay, starting with number 23, you see the directions have changed now. This is a solve equation. We see it's an equal sign, so we need to solve this. We still need an LCD because we're dealing with fractions. They're both factored, so the LCD is 2 plus 3x times 2 minus 3x. And when you're trying to find out the excluded values, remember what you're doing is trying to find out what value of x makes this denominator 0, and if you set each of those factors to 0, you will see that you subtract 2 and divide by 3, and x cannot be 2/3, and of course this would just be positive 2/3. So negative or positive 2/3 would be the excluded values that are not in the domain. So now what we want to do is multiply every term by the LCD. So 2 plus 3x times 2 minus 3x over 1 times 1 over 2 plus 3x plus 2 plus 3x, 2 minus 3x, the LCD over 1 times 2 over 2 minus 3x equals 2 plus 3x times 2 minus 3x over 1, again that's the LCD, times 0. Here the 2 plus 3x cancels, leaving you 2x minus 3 times 1, which is 2 minus 3x, pardon me. Here the 2 minus 3x's cancel, so you need to distribute the 2 times the 2 plus 3x to get plus 4 plus 6x, and 0 times anything here is 0. So you see there's no squared, so we don't have any factoring to do, we just need to combine like terms. The negative 3x plus 6x is positive 3x, 2 plus 4 is plus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides. 3x equals negative 6, divide by 3. And your possible answer is negative 2. When you compare that to excluded values, you see that it's not negative 2/3 or positive 2/3, so that is the answer. Okay, problem number 24. 24 got cut off there. Is also another equation. You see that we could either do the cross multiply, because you've got fraction equals a fraction, and that's a proportion, and a method to solve a proportion would be you could cross multiply, or of course you could simply find the LCD and multiply through by it. So we'll go ahead and use that technique today. The LCD is x times x minus 6. The excluded values, this denominator cannot be 0, so x cannot be 0. This denominator, if you put 6 there, would be 0, so x cannot be 6. So excluded values are 0 and 6. So let's multiply everything by the LCD. Remember, after this step, you should no longer have any fractions, any denominators. So we'll cancel the x's here. That gives you x minus 6 times x minus 2, which you see that's a binomial times a binomial, which will require that you FOIL. Here the x minus 6's cancel, you get x times x minus 4. Monomial times a binomial, we just distribute. So let's go ahead and FOIL this. You get x squared minus 2x minus 6x plus 12. Distribute x squared minus 4x. Alright, we've got some like terms to collect here, so you get x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals x squared minus 4x. So we have a squared term. We need to see whether we can factor it, and remember that that means we need to set this equal to 0 and try to factor it. Always start with your highest exponent term, so I'm going to bring this x squared over to the left. And you see that they cancel on both sides, so it really is not a factor problem. Bring down the rest of the problem. We'll add 8x, and 12 equals 4x. Divide by 4, and your possible answer, x equals 3. 3 is not one of the excluded values. That's your answer. Okay, number 25, again the number got cut off, is another equation. So we need to find the LCD. Throw those values over 1 for your denominator. And recall that u minus 3 and 3 minus u are very similar, so I'm going to switch this around to u minus 3, and I'm going to put a negative that's going to need to be distributed in that numerator. So my LCD is u minus 3, and the excluded value, what will make each of those denominators 0 would be is if u equals 3, so u cannot equal 3. Multiply everything by the LCD, u minus 3, so it'll take me a moment to write that out, and you do the same. Okay, so now we've written out where we're multiplying the LCD by every term. Cancel. U minus 3's cancel, leaving you u minus 2. Here, nothing cancels, so we have 3 times u minus 3. Nothing cancels, u times u minus 3. U minus 3's cancel, you get negative times u minus 4. Okay, so now we need to distribute and clean this up. So u minus 2 plus 3u minus 9 equals u squared minus 3u. Distribute the negative here, you get negative u plus 4. We've got like terms on both sides, so 4u minus 11 equals u squared minus 4u plus 4. You see a squared term, so we need to bring everything to set it equal to 0. So here's the squared term. I'm going to bring these over to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 4u and add 11. So these all cancel, leaving me 0. The squared term did not cancel, so that means we do indeed need to factor this. So that's an easy trinomial. Factors of 15 that add to give you negative 8 are going to be negative 5 and negative 3. Set each factor equal to 0. So I'm going to do that up here. U minus 5 equals 0. U minus 3 equals 0. Add 5 and one of your possible answers is 5. Add 3 and the other possible answer is 3. Compare both of these answers with the excluded value, and you see that u cannot equal 3. So this answer would be invalid. We cross it out. There's still a remaining answer, so we wouldn't say no solution here. We would just say the answer is 5.